Welcome to New Creations, Rooted and Grounded, Episode 1. Today I invite you on a journey of transformation as I take this storm cellar from a mound of overgrown dirt and grass to a garden of grace. And as I take you on this journey, since it's Episode 1, I'm also going to let you know what the vision is for this channel and the inspiration behind it. So come along with me. Let's go. So I want to start with telling you a little bit about me and then about the inspiration for this channel. First, I am a Christian and a disciple of Jesus. I'm a wife to a wonderful husband and a mother to an amazing son. And if it weren't for Jesus, I wouldn't have either one of them. Jesus said in Matthew, "Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks." So what you will hear me talk about the most will be Jesus, my family, our pets, which of course are family too. And there are other things as well. But these things are at the top of my list of things that I love. And as a Christian, I live a changed life. I used to live like the world. The things that I talked about were negative or sometimes inappropriate. I was mean. I could be vindictive. I would gossip. I lied. I was quick to judge and even quicker to become offended. I grew up in church, but a few years ago, I really gave my whole life to Jesus. That's when I said, "You can have it all." I knew that I couldn't make it without him. Instead, I picked up my cross and I followed him. 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away, and behold, all things have become new." He didn't leave me where I was at. Instead, he washed me clean. He made me new. And brick by brick, he has been working on rebuilding my character to his. I still have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of areas that need refined and rebuilt. And it's not always easy, but he is gentle and he is kind and he loves me too much to let me stay as I was or even as I currently am. It's a constant rebuilding of our character to make us more like him. And this is the inspiration for this channel. Because you see, there's something else that I love too, and that's improvement projects. Making old things new, creating something from nothing. So on this channel, you will see me tackling projects like this mound of dirt and making it into a new creation. And as I do, I will share about Jesus and about how he doesn't leave us where he finds us. Okay, so the idea for this project obviously came because of the way it looked. We had finally got our storm cellar put in, but when they put it in, the machinery rutted up the ground all in the backyard. We had these huge piles of dirt left behind. We actually told them it was okay if they left one pile because we thought we were going to be able to use it to backfill, but there was so much clay that wasn't the case. And then the other pile they left because they said that the ground would settle and we would have to fill it. Well, the problem was that the mound around it wasn't even. Both on the back side and that left side, the dirt was actually pressed into the fence and spilling out through the fence. So that all had to be dug out and re-leveled, and just maintenance around it was not, you couldn't mow it. You had to weed eat it, and then the ground wasn't level, and it just wasn't very pleasing to the eye. So I looked online, saw some different garden ideas, and this is what I came up with. And I drew it out, and I was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And I am notorious for thinking that projects are going to take me like 2 days, and they are much harder or much more time consuming than what I think they're going to be. So I started this at the beginning of summer last year. And I was like, okay, this is going to take me just a few days. I'll get it done. I'll get the wood. We'll knock it out. I'll have just, maybe a few hours of footage. Every day I would come out to work on it, I would read a Bible verse. I would talk about the progress, and I realized that every day I was not getting much farther. And what happened is this was a much more difficult ground to dig in than I anticipated at all. So it would either be way too dry and hard as a rock, or so wet that it was just huge clumps of clay that would stick to the shovel. And that in and of itself made it exhausting. And then if you've never been to Oklahoma, it gets very hot in the summer, and it started to get hot, and I love working outside, don't get me wrong, but between battling the digging, battling the rain, the weather, and then still at the same time working on this, we have quite a bit of land that I mow in the summer. I stay home, so I do the mowing, and I love it and enjoy it so much. And then two, a little bit of gardening. I did not can anything last year. I have not canned anything ever, but I want to. So this year that is the goal. But this project just took so much more out of me than I thought this one project would. I had never done YouTube videos. Still haven't really. I mean, this is my first one, and it's actually my second time editing the same one. After going back and listening to it, it sounded so sad, and I sounded sad, and I was like, that's not what I want to be. I want to be happy. This is fun. It was hard work, but it was definitely fun, and I want people to enjoy it, not be sad by the time they get done watching my videos. So I've come back. I'm doing this voiceover again, and hopefully bringing a little more joy to it as I go through it. But about midsummer, I finally got to the spot where I get to plant. And I am enthusiastic. I'm excited about it. I get the soil. I've got the paper. I get the plants all put in. I will say that some of the plants were annuals. Most of them were annuals that I planted. And then I only had a couple rose bushes, so only a couple perennials in there, and I think just a couple bushes as well. And right off the bat, I had a couple plants die early on, but I get this part done. I needed more paper, as you can see in the top row, and I don't know what happened, but after this, I guess was kind of burnt out on it. This was a more exhausting project than I had planned on, and so I planted the flowers and then didn't mess with it for a while. And you can see here as I'm coming in the stand, it was so long that look at the purslane and look at these paper flowers. I'm not sure what they're called. Look at how just lush they are. I actually had to tie them back while staining in order to be able to stain all the wood. It was insane. But like I said, these are only annuals, so they don't come back. And then, as fall starts, we get this crazy freeze. This freeze comes in, kills everything. You can see it there. But in the meantime, Josh has finally gotten a skid steer out. He's gotten rid of the two huge dirt piles. So much better. It looked amazing. But yeah, you can see where everything that was an annual just died. And you can see a little Juju there hanging out in the garden bed. But that was enough for me. I was like, all right, I'm going to get all this out of here. We're going to add more soil in. I actually used the old vegetable garden bed soil and emptied those beds out, used that soil to replace a lot of the dirt that has a heavy amount of clay in it. Pulled that out and replanted all these new, you can see I've got a lot of evergreens. Everything I put in there is a perennial or an evergreen, so it'll come back every year. So the goal was to have this as a low maintenance area, but that's still aesthetically pleasing. And so that's what we did. and the dogs helped me along the way. They made sure I was getting the job done, moved tools when necessary, and really just monitored me to make sure that I was doing it as they deemed fit. So this project took literally from the beginning of summer until fall. So it took a lot of time. Now there was a big break in there, but getting to the final project, getting this last bit done, getting all the mulch in, adding the rocks, and still being supervised by the dogs, it really just came together. And just like how Christ sees us as a finished product, he doesn't see us the way we are when we come to him. He sees us how we can be and how we're gonna be when he does the work in us. I was finally able to see what I had envisioned for this project at the start. So it took a long time, and it's taken me even longer to finally get to sit down and edit the 50 plus hours of footage that I had for this project and make it into something that I could share. And I'm just so grateful for it and thankful that the Lord has given me this opportunity to share this with you all. And I hope you enjoy it. I guess I'm supposed to say like and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you on our next project, which is some pantry doors.